Good morning, welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Wednesday, July 8th, 2015. If you want to follow us on Twitter, please go to CATEX TV. The Federal Aviation Administration is saying this morning that all United Airlines flights are under a ground stop as a result of an automation issue. It's not immediately clear how long the ground stop is going to be in place. United, after its merger with Continental, is one of the biggest airlines in the world. It's not known whether the ground stop extends to United's international flights, which right now at this hour of the morning in the Eastern time zone would mean that a number of them are in place at European airports ready to take off to head to the United States. If we get any more information on this, we'll revert. The Italian investment company Exor has sweetened its offer for PartnerRe. This is after a series of constructive conversations, as they term them, with shareholders in New York, PartnerRe shareholders. John Elkann, the chairman and CEO of Exor, added 100 basis points, another full point, on dividend payments to preferred shareholders. The preferred shareholders of PartnerRe compose 40% of the voting stock for the July 24th vote, yes or no, on the proposed Axis merger. What Mr. Elkann also did is he put in a legally binding personal guarantee to provide the information necessary for PartnerRe to obtain the necessary approval should the Exor deal went through. Elkann said it was odd that this was put into discussions, but this is something that we feel very comfortable about doing because we're committed to acquiring PartnerRe. This action should put to rest the unfounded concern that all necessary regulatory filings will not be made. Analysts are saying in reaction now to the increased Exor offer that this could in fact tip the balance and make Exor the favorite. Here's an interesting fact that came out of the Ace acquisition of Chubb. There's a $930 million breakup fee included in the deal. The agreement includes the right that either party has to terminate the merger if it doesn't complete it by the 30th of June. If Chubb receives an acquisition proposal from another party that leads it to terminate the merger, Chubb will have to pay $930 million to Ace. If Ace terminates the agreement and Chubb enters into a transaction with someone else up to 18 months after the original Chubb-Ace agreement, which was announced last week, then the money has to be paid in the other direction. Greek Prime Minister Tsipras is in Brussels today at a very fractious meeting of the European Parliament. He was received with mixed reaction, boos and cheers. Some of the left-wing European Parliament members applauded the Greek no vote, and the more conservative people were booing him. Mr. Tsipras has promised that the Greeks will submit, quote, credible reform proposals to its creditors tomorrow, Thursday. Yesterday, you may recall, there was consternation on the part of the Europeans that the new finance minister did not come with any new proposals in hand. Hopefully, whatever comes tomorrow will be enough for the Europeans to contemplate some action. The Prime Minister of Tunisia, after suffering through a horrifying attack on the beach that killed 30 British tourists 2 weeks ago, says that his government believes, that plots aimed at massive deaths and the destruction of the country's economy are in the works. And he justified the state of emergency that he declared after a second deadly attack on tourists in 3 months. That was the beach attack. He said that the governmental martial law provisions are going to remain in place in order to quell the instability. According to a study from the University of Cambridge's Center for Risk Studies, a cyber attack on the American power grid could cost the U.S. economy over $1 trillion. The report, called Business Blackout, examines the insurance implications of a major cyber attack on the United States. According to Tom Bolt, Director of Performance Management at Lloyd's, this scenario shows a huge impact that could result from a major cyber attack on the U.S. The reality is that the modern digital and interconnected world creates the conditions for significant damage, and we know there are hostile actors with skills and desire to cause harm. According to the studies, the initial total impact on the U.S. economy would be $243 billion, and it would rise to more than $1 trillion in the most extreme case of a successful cyber attack on the entire grid. Meanwhile, in Los Angeles, some concern is being expressed because of the approval of an office complex called Millennium Hollywood. It's going to be anchored by two buildings, each over 35 stories tall. One is going to be 39 stories. The skyscrapers are going to be built in the heart of Hollywood, despite fears that they're going to be built on, guess where, an earthquake fault. In November, California state geologists said there was an active earthquake fault under the new proposed skyscrapers. However, the city of Los Angeles said that the proposed construction on the earthquake fault was satisfactory because the fault had been inactive of recent years. The concern now, of course, is that even though there is a fault where it hasn't moved in 20 to 30,000 years, the fact that you're building a total of 79 stories of buildings on top of the fault might not be a wise idea in earthquake-prone Los Angeles. I personally don't care whether or not they're going to build 79 stories worth of skyscrapers on an earthquake fault. I just wouldn't want to be living near those buildings in the event of an earthquake. They topple. That's the news for today. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.